نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد ونفخ في الصور ذلك يوم الوعيد صدق الله العظيم. Respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The only certainty that we have in life, the only thing that is common between all humans, irrespective of race, creed or nationality, is that we are going to die. Many fear death as it is seen as an end. Some live their lives as if they are never going to die. But many people forget that we all will have to die someday. As Muslims, it is part of our belief system to believe in al-ghaib or the unseen. The unseen includes Jannah and Jahannam, and to get there, we will have to go through the Judgment Day. We are informed as thus through the many verses in the Quran that describe these. Human life on this earth is meant to be a temporary abode before our eternal home in the hereafter. This was known right from the time of Adam alayhi salam, when they were expelled from the garden. In Surah Baqarah, verse 36, we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Then did Shaitan make them slip from the garden and get them out of the state of felicity in which they had been. We said, get you down, all you people with enmity between yourselves. On earth will be your dwelling place and your means and livelihood for a time. Earth is our dwelling place for a time, and when that time is up, we don't just cease to exist, but will be taken back to our Creator, as is mentioned in Surah Ankabut, Surah 29, verse 57. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Every soul shall have a taste of death. In the end, to us shall you be brought back. Those who deny or refuse to believe that there is life after death will wish that their false belief was true when they are given the book of deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a glimpse of the future in Surah Heeafter, Surah 69, verses 25 to 27. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. And he that will be given his record in his left hand will say, would that my record had not been given to me, and that I had never realized how my account stood. Would that death have made an end of me. From the above verse we see that it is not just believing that there will be life after death that matters. The fact that there is life after death means that there is more to this life than just living it day by day. There needs to be a goal to which we are striving to. In Surah Mulk, Surah 67, verse 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. He who created death and life, that he may try which of you is best indeed, and he is exalted in might of forgiving. This verse shows that there is a reason for us being placed here on earth, and from it we get the clue that we need to strive for excellence. If we follow this guidance, then we would not be like the one that wishes that death was his end. If you look at the verses in the Quran, we will see that there is a cycle that is being followed. In Surah Baqarah, verse 26, we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. How can you reject the faith in Allah, seeing that you are without life and He gave you life? Then will He cause you to die, and will again bring you back to life, and again to Him will you return. We were dead, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this gift of life. We should be grateful for this gift, but unfortunately many don't realize this and abuse the time that we have been given. Some go as far as believing that they are the givers of life and death, but none other than Allah has that power. In Surah Furqan, Surah 25, verse 3, we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Yet have they taken besides Him gods that can create nothing but are themselves created, that have no control of hurt or good to themselves, nor can they control death, nor life, nor resurrection. It may be understandable for us that idols of stone and wood may not have any power over anything. But many people believe that other beings may have some powers. We come across the incident in the Quran where Ibrahim alayhi salam confronts a king whom Allah had given some power. In Surah Baqarah verse 258 we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, have you not done your vision to the one who disputed with Ibrahim about his Lord, because Allah had granted him power? Ibrahim said, my Lord is he who gives life and death. He said, I give life and death. Said Ibrahim, but it is Allah that causes the sun to rise from the east. Do you then cause him to rise from the west? Thus was he confounded, who in arrogance rejected faith. Nor does Allah give guidance to a people unjust. This man, known as Nimrud, thought that he was all-powerful, but he was not the only one. We have in the Quran the example of Pharaoh as well. Listen to what is said in Surah Nazi'at, Surah 79, verses 21 to 24. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. But Pharaoh rejected it and disobeyed guidance. Further, he turned his back, striving hard against Allah. Then he collected his men and made a proclamation saying, I am your Lord Most High. Pharaoh was so arrogant that he thought of himself as the Lord of the worlds. Also in the Quran, we see that he asked for a high tower to be erected so that he could look for the God of Musa, even though he said that he knew that Musa alayhi salam was lying. A person worse than Pharaoh is hard to find, even though we see some people that are like him today. In the Quran, we also learn that no matter how high and mighty they think they are, death is what will humble them. In Surah Yunus, Surah 10, verse 90 to 91, we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We took the children of Israel across the sea. Pharaoh and his host followed them in insolence and spite. At length, when overwhelmed with the flood, he said, I believe that there is no God except him whom the children of Israel believe in. I am of those who submit to Allah in Islam. It was said to him, now, but a little while before, while you were in rebellion, and you did mischief and violence. A man that thought of himself as God believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only when he was about to die. This brings us to a very important point. Many times you will hear people say that reading the kalima is the last thing that we should say before we die, implying that it could guarantee us paradise. But the verse above, we see that Pharaoh did it, and we are told that it meant nothing. In Surah Nisa, Surah 4, verse 18, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us not to leave our repentance for the last minute. It says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, of no effect is the repentance of those who continue to do evil until death faces one of them. And he says, now have I repented indeed, nor of those who die rejecting faith. For them we have prepared a punishment most grievous. This verse emphasizes the fact that it is not necessarily how we die that matters, but what matters is how we live. To support the last statement, Surah Munafiqun, Surah 63, verse 10 tells us, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and spend something in charity out of the sustenance which you have bestowed on you, before death should come to any of you, and he should say, O my Lord, why did you not give me respite for a little while? I should then have given largely in charity, and I should have been one of the doers of good. We've seen how helpless Pharaoh was when he was about to die, and how it humbled him. There is another set of verses that whenever I come across it, it reminds me of how powerless mankind is, even those that claim that they don't need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Waqiyah, Surah 56, verses 83 to 87 reads, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Then why do you not intervene when the soul of the dying man reaches the throat? And you while sit looking on, but we are nearer to him than you, and you see not. Then why do you not, if you are exempt from future account, call back the soul, if you are true in the claim of independence? There probably is nothing else that can humble a man more than death, whether he is experiencing it himself or is a witness to it. We will now take a little closer look at the point of death. The duty to take the souls of mankind is given to the angels. In Surah 6 verse 61 we read, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." He is the irresistible, watching from above over his worshippers, and he sets guardians over you. At length, when death approaches one of you, our angels take his soul, and they never fail in their duty. People may try to cheat death or run away from it, but they can never escape it. The Quran warns some people during the time of Muhammad ﷺ that ran away from the battlefield. In Surah Ahzab, Surah 33, verse 16, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." Say, running away will not profit you if you are running away from death or slaughter. And if you do escape, no more than a brief respite will you be allowed to enjoy. When someone dies, we always say his time was up. This may be true, but the verse I've just read suggests that there may not necessarily be only a single endpoint in a person's life, but there may be many depending on the choices he makes as well as what others make. Going back to the angels, the Quran gives us a glimpse of how some may experience death. The death of the evildoers and rejectors of Allah will be something quite painful. In Surah Anfal, Surah 8, verses 50 and 51, we read, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." If you could see when the angels take the souls of the unbelievers at death, how they smite their faces and their backs, saying, "Takes the penalty of the blazing fire because of the deeds which your own hands have sent forth. For Allah is never unjust to his servants." But on the other hand, we are also given a glimpse of how the angels take the righteous souls. In Surah Nahl, Surah 16, verse 32, we read, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." The righteous are those whose lives the angels take in a state of purity, saying to them, "Peace be on you, enter you the garden, because of the good which you did in the world." Quite contrasting situations we see from the two verses. What is common though was the angels telling them that what they are receiving is because of what they did. It is how we live our lives that matters, and not what we profess verbally, as it may not be reflected in our actions. Those that have done evil will beg to be sent back to life so that they can do good works. But no one can be brought back to life. There is a barrier or barzakh that prevents anyone coming back. In Surah Mu'minun, Surah 23, verses 99 to 100, we read, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." "In falsehood will they be until when death comes to one of them, he says, 'O my Lord, send me back to life, in order that I may work righteousness in the things I neglected.' By no means. It is but a word, he says, before them is a petition, till the day they are raised up." After our souls are taken, the next thing that we are certain of is that we will be raised back to life on the day of judgment. But what happens until then? People have been dead for thousands of years already, and judgment day is yet to come. The Quran again gives us a glimpse of the future with three possible scenarios. We have seen the example of Pharaoh, he who thought of himself as God, but then professing to believe in the God of Musa. His is the example of people who are evil in this world. About him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Ghafir, Surah 40, verse 46, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." "In front of the fire will they be brought, morning and evening, and the sentence will be on the day of the judgment will be established. Cast you, the people of Pharaoh, into the severest penalty." We've come across the verses where we learn of the angels beating the evildoers while taking their souls. Here we see that their torment will continue daily until the day of judgment. On the other hand, we have the righteous servants of Allah, like the prophets and the martyrs. In Surah Al-Imran, Surah 3, verse 169, we read, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem." Think not of those who are slain in Allah's way as dead. Nay, they live, finding their sustenance in the presence of their Lord. So we've seen the condition of the evil people as well as the righteous ones, once their souls have been taken. There is one more possibility that we find in Surah Yasin, Surah 36, verses 51 and 52. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. The trumpet shall be sounded when, behold, from the sepulchres men will rush forth to their Lord. They will say, Ah, woe unto us, who has raised us up from our beds of repose. A voice will say, This is what Allah most gracious had promised, and true was the word of the messengers. The third possible state that we could be in is like a deep sleep, without any dreams. We may not truly understand how exactly and in what form do the evil get shown the fire, or the righteous are in the presence of Allah. The closest that we can come to understand this is a similitude with sleep. Some nights we have good dreams and wake up happy. Some nights we have nightmares and wake up with our hearts pumping, while other mornings we wake up without having any recollection of having a dream. This reminds me of a poem I did in school as part of the English syllabus, called Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. There is a line from there which reads, From rest and sleep, which but your pictures be. There is a verse from the Quran that compares death and sleep as well. In Surah Zumar, Surah 39, verse 42, we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. It is Allah that takes the souls of men at death, and those that die not He takes during their sleep. Those on whom He has passed the decree of death He keeps back from returning to life, but the rest He sends to their bodies for a term appointed. Verily in this are signs for those who reflect. We all know about the prescription of fasting in the Quran, so we all fast during the month of Ramadan. There are other prescriptions in the Quran as well, one of which is related to our deaths. In Surah Baqarah verse 180 we read, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. It is prescribed when death approaches any of you, if he leave any goods, that he make a bequest to parents and next of kin, according to a reasonable usage. This is due from the God-fearing. Making a will for the benefit of our family members to inherit any wealth which we may have is a duty that we need to observe to ensure that those we leave behind are cared for. A brief summary before I conclude. We all know that our life on this earth is temporary, and to ensure that we have a comfortable life in the hereafter, we need to live righteously and spend in the way of Allah, as there is no coming back once our souls are taken. The angels are entrusted to take our souls, and we will have an indication of our final destination by how they take our souls, beating our faces and backs or giving us greetings of peace. We have also learned that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power to take our lives, and no one can call back the soul. Death can humble even the most arrogant of people. Even if they believed that they are all powerful and that their repentance and accepting Allah on the deathbed will not be accepted. I'll conclude with verses 19 to 20 from Surah Qaf. And the stupor of death will bring truth before his eyes. This was the thing which you are trying to escape. And the trumpet shall be blown. That will be the day whereof warning had been given. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.